will have these available via our website if you guys have a coworker or someone else who missed the actual live presentation. Today we're going to be looking at SharePoint 2010, looking at the content improvements. We've got a series of webcasts, some of which are focused on things like search, some of which are focused on things like, how to do the upgrade, etc. This one is a little more feel for some of the content improvements and some of the things that Microsoft has invested in 2010 to make the enterprise content management, including documents, more approachable and better features. We've got feature webcasts on social computing, although we'll hit a little bit on that today. Search, specifically a deep dive on some of the managed metadata, and as well as upgrades and migrations, and then also hosting. Again, this is a good one to get started with. A lot of overview content here, and heavy on the demos. So let's get right started. So we've got a lot to demo today. A few slides here at the beginning. I feel like Microsoft has really made some investments in making the product more user-centric. Again, one of the themes that I'll be touching on today is how I think people will adopt and use records and document management more if there's a payoff for them. So I think everyone is kind of in the what's in it for me. So I want it to be intuitive. I want to be able to discover things in a fast and intuitive way using metadata and tagging. I want to be able to rapidly create and publish web content, as well as I don't want my records management to be something that's kind of like a bolt-on or an add-on. I want it to be integrated throughout the process. It's not something I just want legal to use. As well as I want to be able to take my content types, my metadata, and I want to manage those at an enterprise level, not just on an individual site. And I want to introduce something called folksonomy, where people can add their own tags, and I can manage those at an enterprise level. So what's new in 2010 for records management specifically? One of the big things is in-place records management. So the days of dropping your records off at the records center, kind of sliding them under the door. What if we could just manage those in place, or if we could send them to records center, or through some sort of records management solution if there was a link left there, so that it's easy to find, things don't move on me. Couple of more enhancements: e-discovery and hold. Some great enhancements there, in that e-discovery and hold is over all SharePoint content now. So things like blogs, for example, are treated just going to be the same business rules can be applied there to do records management. Some more enhancements, certainly reporting, how that's created and managed within SharePoint. As well as the addition, and this is certainly something that people have been asking for, is the hierarchical file plan. So how we can set that up and manage it, as well as, in 2007, the idea of folders was a little bit taboo. Certainly some additional features have been added to those folders so that we can manage certain things and do certain aspects of SharePoint on a folder basis. Looking at a couple of things, when I'm in a document library, I can declare things as a record right there within a collaboration site, as well as like how I define my retention policy. You can see that I can do that on a folder by folder basis, so location based instead of necessarily just the content based. So in our demo, we are going to look at metadata navigation, a quick overview of fast search, some of the social features. Again, we've got separate sessions, webcasts just on those two things. We're going to look at document sets, quickly look at the Backstage feature of Office 2010, which replaces the document information panel. Look at term store management, e-discovery, holds reports, in-place records management, and if we have time, some SharePoint workflow that we can leverage to do some of our records management and document management. So let me get out of my slide and bring up my merger and acquisition site. So I will ask Tammy if she can see my screen okay, and she can respond via instant message. So she tells me yes, so that's great. Allow me to role play a little bit here. I think that'll make the demo a little more interesting. In this case, I'm logged on as Chris Berry, and Chris Berry works for one of our favorite Microsoft fictitious companies called Contoso. And she is in charge of mergers and acquisitions. So you can see here, she has got a site got the new 2010 look and feel. If we look at a couple of documents that she's worked with, she has got a document library here, and if you look at a couple of the features, we see a couple of new things. This is a new icon, so this that's called a document set, so that we can work with documents. So I was going to do a merger and acquisition. I always know there's 4 or 5 documents that I work with, so I've created a document set. As well as we see here, the link icon, that's showing us that these documents have actually been moved. So if I were to click on Fabricam, previous merger and acquisition, I would see that this has been moved to my Records Center location. So you can see that I've got a records site here, and some workflow happened. In this case, there is some workflow that was created in Visio, and if a project is greater than $10 million, which you can see here from the metadata, that I'm going to apply a certain record management policy to it. So let's if you continue the role play a little bit, Chris is always on the target for new mergers and acquisitions. So a great way to do that is do some search within the organization. So I'm going to search for this company that I have heard some chatter about called Tray. Here I'm leveraging what we call fast search for SharePoint. So Microsoft has integrated that more tightly with SharePoint with 2010. Give that a second to come up. So here we see a number of results, and again, I think one of the premises of some of the enhancements that we've made in 2010 is the payoff. So what's in it for me? So a couple of things is if I take the time to put in certain metadata or tags about documents, such as this vertical industry or the company, then I'm able to do refinements. So fast search is the same technology that things like BestBuy.com use. So much like I might refine this and only look for HD TVs by Sony, I can refine this by saying only look for the vertical industry of manufacturing. A couple things here. Let's look at preview. So here we see a preview of this PowerPoint slide right here within our browser. I'm able to scroll. Again, make better, more informed decisions without necessarily downloading this to my hard drive, opening it up. Another thing I can do is just view this document right here within the browser. So this leverages Microsoft Office web applications, which while it's not part of SharePoint, it's part of your Office suite, allows you to do full editing and collaboration within the browser. So this would compete with many of the in-browser Office applications that are out there, except that it's the exact same documents that you're using your Office suite for. So a couple of things here. We can actually edit this document or open it in the native app. Currently, there's a couple of products that Microsoft has that we can actually do collaborative editing. So, for example, Excel. If Tammy and I were both working on the Excel at the same time in the web access version of it, we could both be working on it, and it would help resolve our changes as well. So keep moving on here. I feel like Trey is probably going to be a decent acquisition target for me. But like a lot of companies, most of the knowledge within an organization is not in the documents or the documents, but it's actually in the people. So a lot of investment with 2010 in people search. So here, similar refinements. Here I'm going to refine by senior account manager. Senior account managers have been helpful to me in the past when I'm seeking merger and acquisition targets. That has allowed me to refine this to Karen. If we look at Karen's My Site, it's greatly enhanced with 2010. A couple things that I'll point out that's going to be useful for me is here, Karen has said she is willing to answer questions about Trey. So a lot of the struggle is how to find people that can help me with a certain business task. And here, right on her My Site, she can say that she's willing to answer questions. I could potentially drop off a note, much like a wall post. I can also have wall posts come from other sources, such as let's say Karen is a senior account manager, sells a big deal. That potentially could be posted to her wall as well. Another challenge I think we find in finding the information and finding the people is kind of the reporting structure. I may not know Karen, but I may know some of the people that she reports to or some of her peers. And here we see this interesting Silverlight Control that allows me to navigate the hierarchy. So here I'm navigating up and down within the org structure. So previously I may have had to send several emails, try to find who to contact to get access to Karen. Here I've got it all right here. Let's see. I see that Karen has a blog. Again, I'll point out that the records management now extends to blogs and other, all the content types. So if I potentially put some kind of legal hold or want to apply some business policy to this information to make it a record, certainly that's possible. So from kind of perusing Karen's site, I see that she's been involved with Trey. She's had a few posts that make Trey seem like a decent acquisition. For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with this acquisition, or at least the process. So a couple things I'll point out here is the ribbon bar that's new to 2010. So fully integrated, or the same experience that we've had with Office 2007 that people are familiar with. And again, context sensitive. So once I click a document, I get different options. So here, as I click Litware Acquisition, you see that Edit Properties pops up here at the top. So again, a big concept I think to pick up with the ribbon bar is the context. So you do an action, then look at the ribbon bar to see what options you have. Same option here with library. So if I wanted to make changes to the library, certainly that's something you'll see with 2010 is more of a Web 2.0 approach. Less mini clicks, mini page loads, more right here within the same context of the screen that you're on. So if we go to New Document, you'll see a little bit of that. You see how it uses some Web 2.0 kind of overlay here. And I'm going to create a document set for my Trey research. And I'm going to call this March. A couple things I'll show you here is like manage keywords. I know that Trey makes gears from the PowerPoint that I looked at. And so as I start typing, I know there's probably a little bit of lag over live meeting, but you can see it's suggesting certain keywords. Likewise, I've got some other metadata that I've defined for this document set. And again, this is going to create several documents, but apply the same metadata for all of them. I've got some things such as these lookups, which if I wanted to apply North America, for example, I could. So if we select that, click OK, So a couple of different ways to get my metadata in there, but again, these are managed centrally in an enterprise metadata store. If you remember the refinement that we had, so that I could refine things by manufacturing, by vertical industry, same option there. So I think for this, all I'm going to enter in is tray research and the deal size. And later I could go back and change this metadata and apply to all the documents in my document set. So let that process. It's going to create a new document set. And I know it'll go quick over a live meeting, but what we're seeing here is this provisioning 4 different types of documents and actually creating a document set site for this to work on. Now, again, this is just a demo, and so they stuck a video in here because they could. But certainly, I feel like it does bring up a good point in that, you know, over the next 5 years, probably 20% of our information will be video-based. At least that's what I've read from some estimates. So SharePoint is got some great integration with the latest version of SQL Server to manage very large file sizes, and such as images or such as video, as well as by the inclusion of Silverlight, kind of as a first-class video delivery platform within SharePoint, certainly makes it a lot more approachable. So let's do a couple things here. Let's go ahead and edit this document in Microsoft Word. So we'll see a couple things here I want to point out quickly is that one of the new features of Office 2010 is the concept of the Backstage. And so this is turning the Office suite into more of a full-fledged collaboration platform. If you remember in 2007, we could certainly do a lot of the SharePoint things from the document information panel or from the properties. This creates an entire kind of application page, if you will, called the Backstage. So if you look at the, should be loading here. Just downloading a second. All right, so if we click on the File tab here in the upper left, we're going to see the Backstage. So if you see several things here, not only are we able to do some of the things such as check in, check out, I can also do, if you remember, the wall posting or the note board right here within the Office suite. So start workflows, change metadata, etc., right here within the Backstage feature of Office 2010. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. So it looks as if this merger is probably going to go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my mergers and acquisition document library. Again, 20-minute demo for the sake of time. We are going to start some workflow on this Tray Research March 2010. Let me show you a little bit of what that workflow is going to look like. So if we look at Visio here, here's a workflow that I've actually created in Visio, and it is going to be a custom action, and it's going to compare a document field, and if the answer is yes, then it's going to send it to my document repository. So just remember this picture, and remember that I created it in Word, as well as the concept here on the left that I've got some SharePoint workflow actions that I can create and manage right here within Visio. So I actually worked on this workflow in a product called Microsoft SharePoint Designer. A couple things here is if I go to Workflows, you can see that I can import a workflow right from Visio. And if you look at the archive new product documents, that's the workflow that's going to run when we actually work with this document set. So let's go back to our site, and I know that I'm on the wrong page, and the way I know I'm on the wrong page is I was doing this entire demo in Firefox. So I think that brings up another good point of as far as the HTML that SharePoint emits is much more compliant to current generation browsers. So don't know if anyone else does, but doing the demo in SharePoint. I mean, in obviously SharePoint, but in Firefox. So let me go ahead and open up the drop-down. We go to Workflows, Archive Document Set, and we'll start that. So sometimes this is fast enough to see that it's already completed. But if we go to the completed state and we scroll up a little bit, while it's running, actually, this would update. And so if you remember from our Visio, this is the same diagram that we had there. So I imported that into my SharePoint Designer workflow. Project from my regular collaboration site to the Records Center. So if we flip over to the Records Center, a couple things here. One of which is my attempt at humor with Microsoft's R&D department. So Microsoft, spends, gosh, it's like $6 billion a year on R&D, and so I'm not sure what department came up with this big old button, but that is one huge button. So I think that's one of the big enhancements of Records Center is that we have an enormous button now to submit a record, but obviously that's all in jest. The couple other things is that concept of document IDs, so that I can track documents by an ID no matter where I move them. Also, the concept of enhanced workflow and management around the drop-off library, the records library, etc. And here we see these merger and acquisition documents. So if you remember, one of the metadata fields was the mergers and acquisitions greater than 10 million, up to 10 million. If we drill down, we can see that we've had various document sets. And if we look at the compliance details for that document set, again, if you remember, we created a set of 4 documents, and we're managing those together. We see that the correct business rules as far as how these things are treated are being managed as far as retention. So I may want to keep a set of documents over 10 million longer than ones under 10 million. All right, so site actions. I want to do Manage Record Center, and then we'll wrap up. A couple things here is I've got my content organizer rules, very much enhanced in 2010. So archive, merger and acquisition documents up to 10 million, greater than 10 million. That's how those got into that folder. Here you can see where I can create content organizer rules, how those are managed, and where those paths are specific or located here. So it tells it where to put it when I'm done. If we click back, discover and hold records. I know that's always something interested with records management. A couple things is the investment that Microsoft's made in the search technology over the last 3 years certainly pays benefit with the records management. So same search results that we're seeing here. These look like the documents that I want. I'm going to go back here, then potentially apply a potential hold to trade research, for example. I wanted to load a new hold, for example, Mike's hold Catapult, and this is managed by Chris Berry. That's going to be applied now. So a lot of enhancements. Certainly, we've filled up the almost the 30 minutes of our time here. I'd like to just wrap up with one quick slide, and then if there's an opportunity for some questions, I can certainly answer those. So let me go here and get my little menu bar back up. All right. All right. So if you guys will submit your questions via the Q&A feature of live meeting, you can certainly address those as they come in. I think we can spend probably about 5 more minutes doing that. Certainly SharePoint, Catapult has invested probably over 1,000 hours getting ready for 2010. So a lot of the planning and some of the work that we've done to get ready for that you can benefit from. So here we've got some different steps that you would take to get going with 2010, and certainly let us know if we can help you guys with that. So let me go to Q&A. I do not see any questions.